Welcome to the pre-release of the Space Shovel podcast. So this podcast is with myself, Dan Nega, and usually one or two guests per episode. This is a innovation podcast where we talk about different things happening in the world and the news, things that are relevant that we think are just cool and can talk about for at least 30 minutes.
Right. Thanks, Ian. And the unique spin for this podcast, for these discussions, will be looking, as Ian said, at the current innovative things that are sort of going around in the world and taking a sideways look at them as to what are the new things, the spin-offs, the unique items or activities that people aren't looking at. So, for example, this whole thing started, the idea percolated when the Mars rover was touching down, and I thought, well, who was the genius, literally, who had the idea of mounting the camera in the parachute so we can see from a God's eye view the rover landing on Mars? Of all the things that were going on to take that rover from here to there, somebody said, wow, hey, let's put a camera on so we can watch it actually land. And what other opportunities would there be for a camera like that in other aspects of our life? And so that got us to thinking about looking at things that are in current events and looking at them in a different way. Hence the name of the podcast, the Space Shovel Podcast. So at some point, there's going to be a colony on the moon, theoretically. We want to be the people that sell shovels to those people. Yeah. They're too hard to get to the moon, but they're going to need shovels, and somebody's going to need to build them.
Exactly. So the CEO of AVIAN, Kevin, always has this story that he likes to tell where in the way back when the gold rush was going on in San Francisco, it was the gold miners getting rich, but it was also the people selling them the shovels. So that's where this idea of the space shovel came around. Like Dan said, we don't want to be the people going to the moon, but we might sell you the shovels to dig up the dirt on the moon. Right. So this podcast, we've recorded a few episodes already. We'll get to the Mars stuff in a future episode so that we can talk a little bit more in depth about it. But we've done an episode on LiDAR, an episode on, now I'm talking about, I can't remember.
The postal trucks.
Yes, the new USPS postal trucks. And we have a couple more episodes that we are recording to release in this first batch. So
right, and our hope is, as you listen to the podcast, and they'll be pretty short and hopefully pithy. Yeah. To scratch your head and go, wow, I hadn't thought about that, but that sure is interesting. And then go on with your life and go eat your cheeseburger or whatever it is you're going to go do.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely keep an eye out for when new episodes launch every Friday. And we are excited to share kind of our thought process and the way that we think about innovation within AVIAN. So very excited. Dan, thank you for helping me record this pre-release. Yep. And you'll see the first episode launch on the first Friday of April. So that is, I think, the second or first?
It is the second.
Yeah. So first episode, April 2nd. We'll see you then.